They're among the world's most controversial drugs. Not coke, heroin, or crystal meth, but anabolic steroids.
Steroids are incredibly effective.
However, it comes at a price.
Doctor said he's going to go in and perform a surgery in which he's going to take out screws because all they're doing now is just causing me pain. And when I say pain, it's a lot of pain. It's like 24/7. It never stops.
I won't lie, I cried the first time, and especially when the hips went, and I mean, he had to use a walker and all that. That was tough for me.
He's still working out on it.
I don't think he'll ever stop. It's probably not the best thing, but for his overall well-being, I think he needs to.
They're called oxycodone. They 30 milligrams. I take about 4, sometimes 5 a day, every single day. This is the highest potency you can get.
My thing is that, you know, whatever it takes, you know, if you can do that and you can get away with it and nobody knows and you end up winning the show, then fuck, that's great. The thing is I can't really say I'm for steroids, but I'm not really against steroids. You know, it's a personal choice. I'm really against young kids taking steroids, you know, teenagers, even in your early 20s. I'm really against that. And once you start taking steroids, your testosterone levels, your testes shut down and they no longer work. So your body is not producing testosterone anymore. And you know, if you shut down your production at an early age, it's never gonna come back to what it was. You know, when you have low testosterone, you're tired, you're lazy, you don't feel like doing anything, you know, you have no sex drive. There's a lot of negatives. So it's very important for you to have a normal testosterone level. And the problem nowadays is it's almost like young kids join a gym, and when they join the gym, they buy the steroids.
Over time, I kept telling him, I said, you're getting too big. You're getting too big. You don't need to be this big. No, yeah, I understand my followers. This is what they want to see. He was 280, 290 pounds. He went up to 300 in a month. I said, you don't need to look any bigger. You look big enough the way it is. But that was him. He had to have this image, and he created this persona, and this, he had a charisma for sure, that people wanted to be like him or be around him. About a year ago, I mean, he'd come over and we'd sit and do my shows, and he was sweating like mad, breathing like this, and I don't think he hurt himself, but he had a hard time breathing. And I said, doesn't look good, you know. I may be wrong, but it doesn't look good. Yes, I said, you been to the doctor? He says, yeah. He says, everything checks out. I'm in good health. Blood pressure, everything. I said, okay, I'm just a little worried. I could tell that he wasn't getting any oxygen. So I never said another word. I just let it go. But when he passed away, it shocked me. I was definitely hurt by it, sad by it, but I wasn't surprised by it.
This is Russian roulette that they're playing with themselves.
Millions have used anabolic steroids, including those you'd least suspect. No drug is so reviled, yet so misunderstood.
The fact of the matter is, you want our athletes using steroids.
From researchers, users, and abusers come stories from inside the world of steroids and a view of how steroids work from inside the body. What do we know about the real risks?
You cannot prove cause and effect. You just can't do it.
And can science separate fact from fiction in the steroids debate?
It didn't take a rocket scientist to know that what Ronnie Coleman was doing in the gym, he'd be paying for later on in life.
Coming to you live from Ronnie Coleman Recovery Center, giving you an inside look at what I go through on a daily basis on my quest to walk again. Well, I've been on these crutches now for they've been longer than 2 years, you know. After a while, you know, that can be very discouraging.
Time don't stand still, it's not meant to. No one stays the best forever.
It's not easy what he did. And those are battle scars of all the heavy lifting, all the pain.
I saw a guy that just had the willpower and the heart of a complete warrior.
You know, after a while, you be in pain so much, you kind of get used to it and you just kind of learn to block it out.
Warrior's mentality, you know, he's a warrior.
Well, I think this surgery is something that's really going to help me out a whole lot and maybe put me back on track to being normal and get rid of these crutches and be able to walk on my own without assistance. You can't be afraid of it. And I know when he went to the gym, I know he didn't have any fear in his body. I've lived and this is the life I've chosen, and I'm not, ashamed of it, and I'm not going to hide it.
We remember the top of the mountain. We remember the top of the mountain. He showed us what that looks like.
He believes steroids are a widely misunderstood drug.
Preconceived notions are that it's similar to doing narcotics and you're, wrapping a rubber band around your arm like a junkie does. But it's no different than taking, a multivitamin on a daily basis. It's just part of a routine.
Like this shot of vitamin B12, injectable steroids are taken the exact same way. And Kidder's earlier use of steroids gives him an insider's perspective on how to use them.
I always start out with injectables for a few weeks and then add different orals in over about a 16-week period.
Known as stacking, many believe that mixing several different steroids may produce better results.
It's good to have a few different compounds in you than an abundance of one. So that just keeps your receptors always clicking and popping and pulling the stuff into your body and utilizing it to the best that it can.
It's like in the old days, it was like we join a gym and we go buy protein powder. That's what we do. Yeah, I just joined a gym, so I need protein powder. Now, it's like I just joined a gym, I need steroids. And it's like the day they start the gym is the day they start the steroids. And it's almost like they go hand in hand. And it really is out of control. Testosterone is something our body, we're born with testosterone. It's something that we need. So we're putting more of something we already have in our body. So just knowing that information makes it a little more, make a little bit more sense that it's not as bad as, people want to believe. They're a lot more common now, and doctors are prescribing them now. So a lot of older, adults are taking steroids just to, to bring up their natural hormones. So if you take, if you're taking steroids and you continue to take them, becomes a point where they no longer work, and you're just taking them, and all you're doing is destroying your body and causing damage, and you're not getting any benefits. So it's mandatory that people take a break. Everything ends up equal. So if you take steroids for 20 years and you got all this muscle and you have this great sex drive and you had all these girlfriends because of this and that, well, guess what? The negative is going to come back at you eventually, and it all equals out. So all the good you're getting, you're going to get the bad.
I know how I'm supposed to feel, the morning of the show, and I'm always very energetic, and I'm ready to go, and I'm ready to fight. This morning, I'm so tired to the point that I actually feel like I'm about to die.
I feel bad for people who didn't get to witness what Ronnie was in his prime. Videos and pictures don't do no justice.
I was trying to be the best in the world. Ronnie was standing in my way, so every year it was a battle against Ronnie Coleman. I knew that was the only guy that could possibly beat me.
This is a guy that lifted weights that nobody else could lift.
So if you're not willing to go to that place, then you don't have a chance against him.
Ronnie, he had a goal in view. He wanted to be the #1 bodybuilder in the world. But of course, eventually, with the massive weights that he was lifting, those discs can many, many times pay a pretty heavy price.
I knew nothing about it. I knew it was part of the sport, I knew nothing about it. And I was very lucky to have some very good advisors, very young, that didn't fuck me up. Because I think that's a huge part for young kids is they get these idiots telling them what to do, or they learn from Get Big, and this is what Kai Green's stack is. And you're like, no, it's not, man. It's just some idiot on there telling you what he thinks it is.
And it's that gigantic list of drugs, too, right?
It's ridiculous, right? And they're going to kill themselves. And then they're like, this is what I need to do to be because of Mr. Olympia. I'm like, no, you don't. You need to do the smallest incremental dose so you keep moving forward. So obviously it's a part of bodybuilding, man. And the realization now is I try to advise people at least for a long time to not do it. Like, let's learn how to actually train first. Because most guys go, oh, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you just got to take this. So much more than that, man.
Yeah.
Like and I think the big difference between the 70s and 80s and now is back then it was a training culture. Like, you trained hard, you trained twice a day. After you were done training, what did you do? You went to the beach, you laid on the beach, which is meditation in itself. You recovered, you connected with the earth. Now it's a drug-based culture. So people think, rather than having to train harder, I just take more drugs. And that's what's the difference in the physique now.
I think the people to blame are us, the consumers of sport. We want to see numbers. We want to see performances. We want to see more home runs. We want to see faster 100-meter dashes. The fact of the matter is, you want our athletes using steroids.
And as the debate continues, and science looks for the answers, one ominous fact remains. Steroid use is spreading, and they may not be going away anytime soon.